Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what went down yesterday. So yesterday we had probably one of the biggest crashes in a single day for Kaspa in a long time, and also across all the markets. You could see here that Kaspa pretty much fell over 37% from the most recent peak of almost 21 cents here. We could check right here. The high was 27.8 and then dropped all the way as low as 12 and a half cents. And I don't even know how many people were able to pick up that price because it was extremely cheap. And if this was your first time going through like a real market downturn in a single day, you probably were panicking. But for me personally, I took this as an opportunity and I decided to load more Kaspa into my bags. And you can also see that today we're looking really good. I mean, we already approached 17 cents as a high for today. You could see the high is 17.29. So it's amazing. I mean, we recovered from 12 and a half cents to 17, almost 17 and a half cents in a single day. But, if we look at Bitcoin, it also suffered a pretty drastic crash. I mean, it's still sitting at $55,000. And this crash is sort of similar to the COVID crash that we had back in 2020. When this event happened, I mean, the actual low ended up bringing Bitcoin down about 63% from the most recent high before that crash. And then this brought Bitcoin down about close to 30%. So not even 63%. So honestly, when you're looking at the bigger picture, this could have been way worse, but it really wasn't. And another thing that I wanted to point out here was the Bitcoin dominance is currently on a rise. And personally, I believe this should be approaching over 60%, because typically in bull markets, Bitcoin tends to start acquiring a lot of the dominance in the crypto market before the actual bull run really starts and goes to altcoins. You could see here that at the peak of the last bull run, this was back in January 2021, we had Bitcoin approaching 73% pretty much, until it finally had a huge crash down about 45%. And we were able to see the dominance of Bitcoin drop to only 39%, but currently it's back on the rise again. And I believe that before the true bull run starts, where prices start to surge because of Bitcoin surging, there's going to be a flight to safety assets, and Bitcoin's going to be one of those safety assets, as well as Kaspa. Kaspa is going to be a really great safety asset, and we're seeing that today and how strong it was able to hold during this downturn. And another thing I wanted to point out is if you look at the VIX, which is the volatility index, what happened yesterday was pretty significant, because there have never been any other times in history when the VIX hit about $65. And when VIX hit $65, that pretty much means there's a lot of volatility in the market. And typically, in my opinion, that's an opportunity to buy. You really want to be buying when the market is looking like this. But there have only been two other times in history where the VIX hit this point, and this was back in the COVID times in 2020 when the VIX actually reached $85, and then back when the 2008 financial crisis happened, the VIX surpassed this $60 area, went all the way up to $95. But if we look at the long term, because this is what matters. A lot of people are short-term minded when they're going into the markets, and personally, I believe that's just a losing game. If you're in the market to just try to trade in and out of it and all that kind of stuff, it's just a losing game. And I just marked the points of when this has happened in the past, and you could see that back in 2008, this was the very, very low, and it didn't even come. Like, the market pretty much crashed in 2008 of November, but the absolute bottom didn't even come until March of 2009. But you could see that from March of 2009 till today, it really doesn't even matter. I mean, we saw an increase of over 591% in the S&P 500. If we're looking at the COVID crash, it's the same kind of thing here. it dropped very, very low. But since the COVID crash today, we're looking at 127% increase. It's very important that when you're in the markets, in my opinion, you should be wanting to invest for the long run. Now, of course, past performance does not guarantee future performance, but when you're investing, it's very important to be analyzing what you are getting into and understand what you hold here. Yesterday, I made this post and I said, all I have to say is be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Nothing has fundamentally changed with CAS, just the price. Double down on your research, know what you hold, don't go over your risk tolerance. And it's very important to not go over your risk tolerance. Make sure that you're not investing more than you're willing to lose. Have an actual plan, a strategy. Have a dollar cost averaging strategy, because that's what I do. I dollar cost average into Kaspa every single week, but I always make sure that I have cash on the side ready to go. And when this crash happened, I had cash ready to go to unload even more capital into Kaspa, because I still believe in the future trajectory of where Kaspa is going. The price is the only thing that changed. No fundamentals change. And I said here also, panicking about your investments indicate these two things. You invested too much, or you don't know what you hold. If you were panicking yesterday, you probably were suffering from one of these two things. And so it's very important to be doubling down on your research and doubling down on not making sure you're investing way too much money. The more you research, the higher your risk tolerance will go. And then that's how you allow yourself to invest more, and you do not even worry. And at the end of the day, it's all about perspective. Look at the bigger picture. If we're looking today, Kaspa is still sitting at rank number 22 despite the recent downturn in the markets, and it even went as high as top 20 for the first time ever this morning. It peaked at top 20, and then people have sold off a little bit and it went back to number 22. But we got to look at the bigger picture here. We're looking year to date performances. Kaspa is still ranked one of the best when it comes to year to date, when I'm comparing it to coins that I truly believe Kaspa should surpass in the future, besides probably maybe Bitcoin, even though I'm not counting that out completely. I don't believe it's going to happen anytime soon. But regardless, I believe Kaspa will outperform Bitcoin. I don't know about passing it, but I know for sure, in my opinion, I believe Kaspa is going to be outperforming Bitcoin for the foreseeable future. And we're looking to the year to date. Kaspa is leading 50% year to date. Bitcoin only 31, Solana only 40, Bitcoin Cash 23, Ethereum only 9, Dogecoin 11, and then Ethereum Classic and Litecoin are negatives. They're in the negatives for this year. We already passed Ethereum Classic. Litecoin is on Kaspa sites. We're soon, in my opinion, going to be passing Litecoin, I believe. And another thing that's really important to look at is looking at the historical prices, because some people get upset that, oh man, Kaspa hits another all-time high, and then when it hits an all-time high, it just crashes. And I just kind of hate this because I just want it to moon and I just want it to go up in a straight shot. But a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people are new to Kaspa. You guys have been absolutely spoiled with the price performance of Kaspa. I've been spoiled with the price performance of Kaspa because I've been in the crypto market in the last bull run, and I actually suffered a lot more downturns and lost money more, and completely never experienced this kind of spoiling in the market when it comes to holding a cryptocurrency. But Kaspa truly is just built different. And if we're looking at the historical price, Bitcoin's probably one of the only other better things out there in the market, where the all-time high was 5 months ago and it's only down 24% from all-time high. That's really not that big of a deal. But if we're looking at those other coins on my watch list, Ethereum, over 2 years, it still hasn't hit an all-time high, and it's down almost 50% from all-time high still. You could be holding one of these coins where you still haven't seen an all-time high and you're down over 50%. We're looking at Solana, same thing. Over 2 years, it's still down 46% from all-time high. Dogecoin, 3 years ago was the all-time high, down over 86%. Bitcoin Cash, just absolutely over 6 years ago was the last all-time high, down 91%. And somehow these coins are still above Kaspa, but these coins are really just dinosaur coins at this point. And I believe Kaspa is going to surpass them at some point. And we're looking at Kaspa here. Kaspa all-time high was 20 cents. We're only down 21% from it. And that was 6 days ago, guys. We were at an all-time high 6 days ago. So just remember that you got to look at the bigger picture. It's all about perspective. Kaspa is seriously a long-term play. I'm playing the long game with Kaspa. Nothing has absolutely changed with Kaspa itself with the price going down yesterday. Only the number has changed. And as you can see today, we're up 21%. Our 24-hour trading volume is $275 million. Things are looking really, really good for Kaspa. I think recently Binance just announced that they allowed Kaspa for pool mining now. So now Binance has future tradings for Kaspa, and now Binance also has pool mining for Kaspa. So, I mean, they even said that this doesn't guarantee that a listing is coming, but I mean, come on, they keep adopting Kaspa in all these kind of different ways, but just not listing it yet. And in my opinion, it's just because they are still trying to acquire more Kaspa to have enough liquidity. I mean, look at this, $275 million of trading volume, and they're not on Binance, Coinbase, Crypto.com, on a lot of exchanges. They're probably preparing for a massive surge in demand when Kaspa gets listed on there. So they're like, we're not even going to list yet because look at all this volume it has without us. So, that's pretty much my opinion on the future tier 1 exchange listings for Kaspa. And it's a bullish problem to have. It's a bullish problem to have that we're not listed there yet. And yet we're still ranked number 22 in the market. And we still don't have those listings. So I'm seriously not concerned about what happened yesterday. I mean, honestly, looking now, it doesn't even look like anything happened yesterday. We're back to where we were a few days ago. We were at 16 cents like last week. So I'm not concerned. Double down on your research. Keep researching what you're holding. Understand what you hold. That's very, very important. And I thank you guys for tuning into this video. Please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. And as always, don't be average. Be different.